We're back with more clips from OTAs. We're going to take another look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we're going to look at some fresh clips on Brian Thomas Jr. They dropped a couple today. We're going to go over those, plus some other ones from last week. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're going hard in the paint looking at these rookies at these camps, rookie camp, OTAs, mini camp, and training camp coming up. On top of your favorite veterans, your favorite players, guys on new teams, different storylines, everything's going to be right here. Click that button. Stop missing out. We're going to look at Brian Thomas Jr. The first two clips are new ones. They are blowing up social media right now, and then we're going to go over the other ones because we might as well and talk some ball on some Brian Thomas Jr. and the Jacksonville Jaguars, some Trevor Lawrence. Here we go. Slinging the rock, Lawrence is, and right there he is, downfield. Here we go, working on some route running. Now, that could be the same play, actually. Could be. Here we go from earlier. Again, it's pretty, though. Nice hands, nice grab, nice snag there from Brian Thomas Jr. Him and Trevor Lawrence connecting again. It's a very small sample, and it's just clips, but it seems like they're building a rapport. And there we are again. Might be same play, different, I don't know. But here we go. Him and Trevor Lawrence, they're getting well acquainted with each other. Seeing targets downfield is definitely what you're seeing early from him. Another one from Trevor Lawrence. Hitting the hand. Some of these are duplicates just from different beat writers and such that I've found. There's Bucket Hat Guy. We see him every year. We've been doing these clips for years. This isn't a new thing. And we're working on our feet. We're working on our footsteps. We're working on our leverages for route running. Going over the finer nuances is when it was raining and then they had to go back indoors that day. I will say this, Brian Thomas Jr., for his height, gets in and out of breaks very well. Limited drift, like you'll see some. Remember, it's wet that day, so there was an extra step there, and the field was being ate up. When it's drier, you see it's less ate up. So you got to understand the context when we start looking at the clips from different players. When I start showing older clips of like a Gabe Davis or something. Like right there, from the weather that week, the field was being ate up. And the ball coming his way, looking good. Look at the feet right there. Boom, 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 boom. He has very assertive footwork, especially when it comes to route running. His release, which I don't think we got any clips showing that. His release is very aggressive, very assertive. Allows him to eat the cushion, allows him to stack, allows him to really get on the heels of that DB and that safety back there. And then that 4.3 speed takes over, and it's all she wrote because he's got ball skills to bring it home. And I feel like him and Trevor Lawrence, this is going to be the perfect pair. It's the perfect spot, or one of the perfect spots, but probably the perfect spot for Brian Thomas Jr. And Trevor Lawrence got his wide receiver. Like, this might be, outside of like Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr., this might be the perfect wide receiver for him. A downfield threat that can also create separation on in and out breaking routes. And he's more nuanced than what people like to say, or at least what I've heard from other people when they talk about him. But because that release package is nasty, he's very sudden and assertive breaking off routes. And for his height, limited drift. And for his height, he breaks off routes very good because it's a physics thing for taller wide receivers. Sometimes it's an extra half step, quarter step, or a little bit of an extra slide into the break to get out. He's very good and very assertive getting out of those breaks. Sells the routes well. Downfield, he's got good ball skills. And the fact that he can stretch it and he's with a quarterback here that wants to put it deep, he showed that with the advanced metrics, average depth of target, deep ball throws, money ball throws. Trevor Lawrence wants to put it deep. He needs a wide receiver like this with a lot of upside. They also showed their hands that they wanted to do this. The Jaguars did this offseason when they picked up Gabe Davis, since he's a deep threat wide receiver with good ball skills. But they really wanted to send it home. They really wanted to get a player with immense upside that could be a top wide receiver in the league. Gabe Davis can be productive, but these guys are different classes of player. Brian Thomas Jr. just has way more potential, way more upside. And if he can tap into it, if he can develop into that and show off his potential and really link up with Trevor Lawrence, you're looking at a wide receiver that has the capabilities of being one of the top wide receivers in the league, being one of the most productive wide receivers in the National Football League. And then on top of that, just being paired with Trevor Lawrence for his entire career and maybe earning a second contract with his team and getting paid very well. He has that. That's in the cards here. The downside, I mean, if you really want me to talk about it, you look at his advanced metrics for production. We got 1 year production. There's a little bit of a red flag there. There is some downsides to him, especially analytically. But really, when you watch the tape, you see how he wins. Flashy footwork, nasty off the release, like I said. He can get downfield. And he's in a situation where his strengths are paired up well. And he's paired up well with Trevor Lawrence. And I feel like that's going to allow him to more than likely, or gives him better odds to tap into his potential, which makes me very excited for Brian Thomas Jr. You can see where a wide receiver or player can excel at, and then you look at what's around him, and you're like, I don't know about this. I don't know if this is a great fit. I know this is a good player, but I feel like his upside, his traits are going to be hampered. I can't say that about Brian Thomas Jr. If he does not hit with the Jaguars, with Trevor Lawrence, it's going to be on him. It's going to be him not developing. It's going to be him not putting a step forward. It's going to be him not doing it. I feel like he's in the right situation where he can ball out. He's in the right spot. If he does not ball out, that's on him. He should be able to ball out here. He should be able to do whatever he wants. He should be able to be on the field early in his career. He should be able to take over. And Trevor Lawrence, if he's doing that, then Trevor Lawrence is going to love him, because his traits, his skill set, his polish, his speed, that just fits perfectly with what we see Trevor Lawrence do on the field with what he wants to do. This should be a good match in heaven here with the quarterback wide receiver duo. I look for them to link up. And if it doesn't happen, that means he's not taking a step forward. That's just not happening. I just don't see why he can't be successful in this role with this offense. I feel like there's a lot of upside here with Brian Thomas Jr. And again, there's a lot of upside, and potential is potential. Just about every wide receiver that we've seen get drafted high has some sort of potential to where they can be successful. We got to tap into it. And maybe it doesn't happen. But with him being paired with Trevor Lawrence, the odds are more than likely. The odds are better. That's probably a better way to say it. The odds are better that he hits that. And I'm excited to see how these two blossom together here in the near future. It should be sooner than later. Like, we should not be waiting 3 years for him to hit. It should be this year, early next year, middle of this year, somewhere. But I look for him to do some big things here with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video.